Hello, my name is T.D. King. I'm going to walk you through our proposed boardwalk plan. Looking at this God's eye view, you look at Ansich Waterfront Park. Moving west along the waterfront towards the West Shore Marina, these first 14 lots constitute the Gig Harbor Working Historic Waterfront. Moving along to the west, you get the West Shore Marina and the Edgewater condos and Murphy's Landing. These are private lots which have granted public access. Their boardwalk and railing already exists. Moving west, you get the Austin Park and the Harbor History Museum. The Harbor History Museum is a 501c3. There are trails connecting Austin Park through the Harbor History Museum, but we do not know if those are public deeded. Donkey Creek is a public park, and across Harbor View from Donkey Creek, you connect the boardwalk to Cushman Trail. In other words, Cushman Trail is connected through that 54 acres, through Donkey Creek, through the Harbor History Museum to the boardwalk. The cheapest way to achieve a public boardwalk for Gig Harbor would be to begin at the publicly owned Eden Boat Park, continuing west along the waterfront through the 4 privately owned lots, through the West Shore Marina, the Edgewater condos, onto Murphy's Landing Marina, continuing west along the waterfront through Austin Park, which is publicly owned, around the 501c3 Harbor History Museum, through Donkey Creek Park to the 54 acres of publicly owned, which is bordering Cushman Trail. 3807 and 3809 Harbor View Drive. 200 feet of waterfront and 200 feet of Harbor View Drive. These are the last 2 undeveloped waterfront lots designated within the Gig Harbor Working Historic Waterfront. (3811) and 3813 Harbor View Drive. These are 2 private lots. I do not know if these owners have any interest in participating in the boardwalk, and if they did not want to participate, the boardwalk, the public could simply walk around these 2 lots on the public sidewalk. Looking at this drone footage, notice the boardwalk and safety railing has already been constructed and is in place from West Shore Marina across Edgewater condos all the way to Murphy's Landing. However, what you'll notice is that the borders between these properties, which is controlled by the city of Gig Harbor, if you were to walk along the existing boardwalk from West Shore Marina to Edgewater condos, you would find that the public boardwalk is there. However, the railing dead ends at the railing for Edgewater condos. In other words, the 2 railings, safety railings for the boardwalk, collide within each other and run together, parallel, in other words, to each other. But in order to cross over from West Shore Marina's boardwalk to the Edgewater condos boardwalk, you have to climb over both safety railings for each property. The city needs to get involved, not only because they are the main property owner along the waterfront, but also because they are the controlling authority and would presumably set up boardwalk design standards for each property owner to adhere to. I mean, think about it. If you own a property down there and the public is able to access it, wouldn't you want to know what are the requirements? Can I have a band down there? What are the hours of the band? You can just imagine the number of restrictions that would need to be applied. I am sure the Native Americans and Gig Harbor Historical Society, among just a few, would want to weigh in on the boardwalk design standards. Property owners would need some sort of guidelines to allow them to insure their properties and safely open and close those properties for maintenance or for construction and renovation requirements. If the boardwalk is open to the public, but a property owner wants to change it or renovate or improve, when can they close down? Can they close down? Is there an impact to the public if they close down? These guidelines need to come from the city. The city, which is also a main property owner of these waterfront lots. So while it is true the majority of the boardwalk already exists, there has been no work on the boardwalk design standards from the city. The boardwalk is in place, but the city, who is the main property owner, needs to get involved.